this is an announcement. I'm going to have the original Kandice Kelly on my YouTube page on Saturday, this Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, because she is hitting notes again. First, she went viral because of the nurse in purse video and don't become a hospice care wife. She has started a phenomenon where we are telling the truth. The aunties are speaking, and we are going to have her on our show. Now, in this video, she is talking about, brother, you've expired. She is having a conversation with the Menz, letting them know that you run out of time. Nobody wants what you're offering anymore. Derek, Otis, Jedediah. And these people are getting older quicker. It's happening because they're not taking care of their body. And back in the day, when the whole ride or die phenomenon was still going on, when getting a man, any piece of a man, was a goal, that was a thing, and they had a soft landing. Now that the aunties are speaking, we are taking away that soft landing, because if they have not cultivated their relationships, their bodies, their finances, they deserve to live in the consequences of their actions. And we're going to talk to Auntie Kandice Kelly on this Saturday on my YouTube page at Bourbon Bougie. Yes, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Tune in.
I don't normally talk to men over here on my platform because this is a black woman centered space. However, I'm going to today, and the reason is because I'm prompted because of a friend that I just talked to, a guy, an older black guy. He's my age. He was in his early 30s in the 90s, and most of us were in our 20s in the 90s. This guy was so cool in college. I mean, he was the coolest guy. He had more muscles than the other guys. He had more money. He was well, he shouldn't have still been hanging around the college, but he'd be hanging around the college stepping, and all the girls wanted to date him, and he dated all of the girls. Then he expired. And see, that's what's happened with a lot of you black men. You stayed on the field playing so long that the game ended. You got too old for the game, at least the game for you. You got too old for the game. Somebody younger came in, a better quarterback came in. It happens all the time in the NFL if you guys are thinking in terms of sports. If you stay playing any game for too long, at some point you get too old for the game. And that's what's happened with a lot of men in our community. And this is what's happened with my friend. And now he has this hatred and anger toward women that are my age. Now, first of all, he started off with this anger toward younger women in their 20s because for some reason, men in our community don't think that they expire. They think that they're going to forever be able to get the cutest girl at the college. And now they're calling you old dirty bastards. And they don't want to talk to you. They call you OG. So when we got about 40, all the guys started working out and having heart attacks and strokes and all this because you thought you could just get back in the gym and start lifting like you did when you were 20 and you hadn't done anything but sit on a couch. And your belly's out here and you're bald headed and you're not in any shape to be working out. So you notice that a lot of guys that are our age, they start working out and the next thing they're having a heart attack or a stroke because you can't do that. And you haven't conditioned yourself for it. You can't just go back in the gym and start lifting, 300 pounds. So what happens is then they realize, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll have to step down and lower my standards and just get with a woman my own age. And then you think that you can get the equivalent of the cute college AKA on campus whenever you are 50, bald-headed, smelly, side teeth coming out, urinating on yourself, prostate swollen, prostate cancer, kidney failure, heart condition. You got all these things, and then you think that, okay, so the woman that you were supposed to marry, it's one of two things. This is what you found out about her. She probably ended up marrying some nerd that you're like, well, I don't know why she married her when she had me, because you wouldn't marry her. You didn't want to get married. And she did. So she married someone who loved her and wanted to be with her. And so now you have to live with, every time you see them, there's the man that has your wife and your kids because you didn't marry her. You got a man that's sleeping with the woman that you should be with, the woman you should have yoked with. Those little cute little kids running around, that should have been your son. But because you couldn't make a decision, she moved on. Or she is the shit. She is the black woman that is the CEO. She going on trips to Paris and she got all 401k, a house. She got all this stuff. And now you think, oh, okay, well, let me go back and get her. But she doesn't want you now because look at you. You have to make a decision when you have choices. And at this point, a lot of you all don't have choices. But I am going to give you some advice. There are some women that still want you. They want a man. They want the right man. And here's what you can bring to the table. Okay, you ditched your youth. You're unhealthy. You're sick. You dropped out of college because you were so busy stepping and hanging out with everybody in college. You didn't get your degree, but you had it going on. So you went and became a lead bouncer at the strip club, or you did security at some club, or you were like a bartender at a club, or you did some young man's job, right? And now you're older. And for black men, you might be a white guy and be the bouncer in the club from age 20, and then you get 40 and they say, okay, we're going to let you be the general manager of the club. But that doesn't normally happen for black men. So you take on a youthful career that you don't have to have any real skills for other than being able to use your fist or just be a cool black guy. And you start to get older, and so you expire. Then you can't get those jobs anymore. Nobody wants an old man for security. How can an old man protect a stripper, right? So you can't get those jobs anymore. And so then you start doing these hustling jobs, right? You doing maybe you're driving Lyft or Uber, or maybe you doing odd jobs and things, or maybe you got your own barbecue business. You make barbecue sandwiches, and maybe you do tint windows on cars. Like, just, you don't have a job instead of just going to go get a job because you're like, okay, well, I'm an older dude and I used to be the head of security, and all these rappers and models used to come through, and I was, the cool guy letting them in the club. And so it is beneath you to go get a job at UPS or FedEx. And then some of you guys have a criminal record and you can't do that because of the shady work that you did. But let me tell you what you can do, because there is a way for you to be able to secure some woman. Now I have a man, and let me tell you, what we are looking for as successful women who smart, brains, savings, property did what we were told to do as black women in the 90s, right? Get your education and then get a man. So there are some women out there that really want male companionship. And that's what you can bring to the table is companionship, but it's got to be supportive companionship. You cannot go into living in a woman's nice house and laying up in her nice bed trying to be the head of the house, trying to tell her what to do, expecting her to go to work as a doctor and work a 3-day shift and come home and cook you a sandwich. You need to be her soft place to fall. Like, you can be, when she's with you, yeah, you can be the man, but you can't be trying to run the household, acting like you're bringing in all of the money. But the main thing that you can't do, brothers, is stop being jealous of us. Like, just stop. Stop being jealous that we didn't ditch our lives. And I'm going to say this to you. I don't even think that it's your fault. Like, I'm not blaming you, because that's the way that this society was set up. This is years of men whose DNA and bloodline lineage should have died out 3-4 generations ago, because all you had to do was be a black man, and you guys beat black women down so much that so many women lowered their standards that women went out and procreated with you. You weren't even supposed to be born. But since you're here, and if you want to be with the woman, you're going to have to humble yourself. If she is the beauty and she is the brains, if she's bringing home the money, she's the bacon, she's the stability, she is the reason that you have health insurance, she's the reason that you can go get that tooth that fell out the side of your head put back in, or get a replacement for it, then you've got to be supportive of her. When she comes on and tells you something has happened at work, you need to be supporting her. Like, one relationship that I really like, and I'm not a religious person at all, is a minister named Joyce Meyer. Y'all know her. I went to go see her speak, and she always talks about Paul, her husband, and I hope I got the name right. But he knows that she's the minister. She's the bread mother. She is carrying the finances and the image of the whole relationship, and so he's supportive. And she tells a story about one time she was getting ready to go on stage, and she looked down and she had on, and I'm probably going to get this story wrong, but it was, for the example, it was like she had a red dress on and she had some green shoes, or had one mismatched shoe, and before she went on, her husband was like, wait, you can't wear those shoes on there. And she's like, well, what do you know about clothes? But what do you know about dressing and clothes? And looked down and realized that he was right. You have to be her support system. You need to be her agent and her promoter. Like, I don't like what's going on with, like, when you have like celebrities and stuff, like, for example, like Monique, her husband, like, I don't know what his experience is with being a promoter. I'm not talking about being that type of promoter. I'm talking about being behind her and putting that battery in her back. If you have, this is the last I'm going to say, here's an example. You have a race car, and that race car, you enter it in competitions, and it can win $1 million every time you win a race, or that car wins a race. And you're not driving it, you own the car. Every time it wins, you're going to win $1 million, right? What are you going to do with that car? You're going to shine it up, make sure it's taken care of. You're going to, take what your resources you have to make sure that it's all oiled up and ready to go, because that is your prize. That is your prize car. Your woman is your prize, especially if you're one of those men that ditched your youth. Then you need to see her as that race car that you are going to love, because that love, the love in that car, takes care of you. So that's the only thing that I have to say to men, and it was prompted by my friend who is past cute and who's expired, and he's one of the many men that's just angry at black women in our age group because you stayed out playing on that field until you got too old for the game.